Okay, we're going to get into a little bit of colors because we need colors for our design system. This is not a color theory video, so we're only going to add a few key colors for now just to get our design system up and running, and we can get deeper into colors later on. But it's important to know in design systems there are generally two groups of colors, one group being the static palette, a full set of fixed colors, and another set being a named palette, which is an abstraction of the static palette where you name certain colors that give them meaning. This is a common practice, and let's jump straight in so it becomes clearer how these color systems work. So we're going to create a mid-gray. I'm using HSL strategy right now, hue, saturation and lightness. So if I change the lightness here to 50 and it has no hue and no saturation, we're going to get a mid-gray, which is what we want. So as soon as I've got lightness 50, I'm going to call it gray 50. There are different nomenclatures. Let's make another couple of grays. I'm going to change this to 90, which gives us a lighter gray. Well, this is used for other layers, highlighting, hover states and so on. We'll get into that later. Let's just quickly make a few of the key colors. So let's create a gray 10, which is obviously going to be darker, nearly black. Gray 0 would be pure black, and gray 100 will be pure white. We're also going to pick a couple of other colors just to have at hand for now. We're going to have a blue, which we'll just use as a accent color. Could be a brand color, just for example, and a red as a semantic warning color. So when we build out this in the future, we'll have a set of grays. Let's use the American spelling. We'll have a set of blues, of which at the moment we only are going to have one, and a set of reds. And we would have greens and purples, etc. So here, let's make a blue, and we'll just shift the tint. We'll give it some saturation, because here we do need saturation. Let's give it a, that's fine. Let's keep them round just for simplicity. 280 and 50. Okay, now let's add a red. Basically, we're already at red, so let's add an 80 and a 50, and that will give us a similar tonality. Okay, now we've got our basic color set. Let's put these into our variables. Now, create a color. We're going to put it inside a palette group just to differentiate from the named colors. We're going to call it, no, we don't need the color here, so I'm going to call it gray 50. Let's go. Now we've got our new group, gray 50. Let's just pick that up. Let's do the same for the others. Color, gray 90. And let's pick that up. And gray 10. Let's grab almost black. Let's drag that into the middle. Okay, now we want to create a new variable for our named colors. So first, let's just go over to our named palette. So the key here is we have to link these. So let's create our accent color. It can be called a brand color, accent color, primary color. There's many ways. I'm going to call it primary base, just in this instance. Primary color would be a brand color, for example. Now, this one has to reference our other colors. So if I picked it here, that would be wrong. We need to go to our libraries and we need to link it to our variables. Now, we didn't add those, so let's go and add them. Local variables, palette, color. This was the blue 50. Let's link that one. And now let's add the final color, red 50. And there we go. Now we've got a couple of our static palette. Of course, this will be much more full in the future. Okay, let's go over to our named palette again. And let's say this is going to be, it's going to use our library. And we're going to go for the blue. Now, this is in our library now, this color, the blue is in our library, but what we need is a new named color. And we do that by creating a new variable. This time, we have one here already. So let's just call this one color. And I like to prefix, so color primary base, for example, right? So now we've got our color palette, and now we must link the color. As you can see, that is linked now to blue 50. That just gives us that level of abstraction and control. They are the same color, but now we've got this semantic value. We know what this means, and it's linked to this color. Now we could change that, and all of these primary colors would change, and that's the power of this. Now we need to add also our danger, positive or negative. I might call it negative base, because that could be error, it could be danger, and we're going to link it to the red. Right, so let's just make sure that's in our design system. We need to create the variable. So this one will be color negative base. Like I say, we use base because we're going to need a lighter and a darker tone for any kind of hover states or layering. Go to our library, let's pick our red base, red 50, and there we go. Now we have a color primary, blue 50, color negative, red 50. Now we've got our basic color palette set, and that should do for now as we go through the next few stages of our design system. We'll come back to this later when we need more colors. Okay, so let's get on to our next pieces of the design system.